Tuesday with licensed professional counselor Yunetta Spring.
All right, y'all, Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Hey, here on the Rickey Smiley Morning Show, man, we believe that black people need to open up to the idea of going to therapy. So every week we have Talk It Out Tuesday with licensed professional counselor Yunetta Spring. Good morning, Yunetta.
Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, y'all. How y'all doing?
Man, we blessed this month. You've been talking about the EMDR therapy to help people heal from the symptoms and emotional distress that comes after dealing with some sort of trauma in life. So what do you have for us this morning?
We're wrapping up this EMDR segment, for Move Forward March. Today we're going to talk about Phase 5, okay? So Phase 5 of the EMDR process is when we kind of really enhance those positive beliefs. Last week we talked about desensitizing the negative beliefs, right? One thing I love about EMDR is we're looking at the big picture, right? We're looking at the past, we're looking at the present, and we're looking at the future. So we don't just desensitize the negative belief or the trauma, but we also enhance the impact of the positive belief, okay? So, one thing I always say is if you are still here, and this is for everybody under the sound of my voice, okay? If you are still here, there is something that you did to help you survive, okay? To help you get to this point. So in this phase, we really look at what is that thing, to help you get to this point that you're in, no matter what your life looks like. It's something you did, right? And we want to be able to cause people to transition between surviving to tapping into thriving. Like, what does thriving look like? Because there are kind of three people that show up and as we transition through this EMDR process. Most people show up as a victim. And when you're in that victim state, the trauma won't allow you to focus on anything but what happened to you. A victim, they blame other people for what's happening. They blame themselves. They feel vulnerable. And that trauma, it fuels every experience. Every present lived experience is fueled by that trauma. And it happens on a subconscious level. Sometimes you don't even recognize that you're living in that and that you're doing that. But when you survive, you're in a state of, okay, I made it, right? I made it out. But in a lot of cases, when you're surviving, you're kind of still struggling a little bit. You're just existing. But when you thrive, you are committed to learning, to growing, to developing, and prospering, right? And it's not just externally, it's internally, right? So that requires like a shift in our perspective.
That's wow. That's deep.
So that's the victim. The victim is saying, this happened to me. Why is this happening to me? A survivor says, I overcame what happened to me. And I'm going to overcome what's happening right now. But the thriver says, I'm growing, I'm learning, I'm prospering, regardless to what happened, to what is happening, and to what's going to happen. So it doesn't matter, what state I'm in, I'm going to be okay, because what breaks...
That's hard, though, Yunetta. Sometimes that's really, really hard, especially if you do fault yourself for something that happened or feel like you could have made something different, like in death or in anything. Like, I feel like if I'd have been with my grandmother the day she passed, she wouldn't have took that car and drove because she had dementia. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I could have stopped that. So for a long time, I kind of blame myself, but I got up out of it with a lot of prayer and a lot of support.
Exactly. And that's that stuck part, right? That's that subcortical stuckness and it loops. And it's like, if I would have done this or if I should have done this, that's the part we kind of untangle and detangle in the desensitization phase 4. So we work through that. And that's something that sounds like you did. Like you were able to work through that. So, it's so much, stuff. I've been posting about EMDR, all month on my Facebook page, the Spring Forth Counseling, Facebook and Instagram. So if you want more information, go head over there. You can follow my YouTube page, Yunetta Spring, or text the word spring to 55444 if you want more resources, because it's a really powerful tool to help, heal that trauma.
Yeah, and I dealing with 2 deaths this week is 2 funerals at the exact same time, and I'm sad for both deaths, and you have to suck it up, and it's just a part of life. And sometimes the perspective that you take on stuff helps out a lot. So but God bless anybody that's going through grief right now. But Yunetta, thank you so much for that.
Yes.
We really appreciate you coming on the show, getting people in therapy. It do hurt, but you just got to keep going to therapy. That's what therapy is for. And that's why we're able to get up and do this morning show and sit on that front row and take those bullets in the chest and come and try to save other people's lives and keep them from going through what they go through. Counselor Spring, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
More Rickey Smiley Morning Show coming up.